prayer, why do we neglect it? How can a lack of faith be dealt with in order to pray more often? Read what the Bible says about the will of God. By especially reading about his dealings with the characters of the Bible, you will realize that just because God did not answer certain prayers of yours the way you wanted him to, is not enough reason for you not to fully trust in his power. God does not need to prove himself to a single person so that they can believe his word. The miracles contained in the Bible and present-day testimonies of supernatural healing, miraculous deliverance, and superabundant provision, are more than enough evidence of what God is able to do. Since the fact that God is all-powerful is well established, the actual concern of his children should therefore not be whether God can do a certain thing, but rather whether God will do a certain thing. There is simply no limit to what, where, how, when, and where God can do things. It is not God limiting man, but man limiting God. This limitation is especially due to sin and being weak in faith. When a person's faith is not strong, unbelief causes him to stagger at the promises of God, even though he knows the promises. This was, however, not the case with Abraham, when considering his and Sarah's old age and infertility, in relation to God's promise that she would give birth to a son, Romans 4 verses 19 and 20, Genesis 18 verse 10. A lack of great or strong faith is most evident in the things a person prays for and does not pray for. He will not bother to pray for the healing of his grandmother's hunchback, for according to his natural reasoning, this pattern is characteristic of numerous elderly people, from which they never get healed. He thinks that God is thus unable to make the crooked back of an 80-year-old woman straight again. He would rather only pray for healing of the pain she experiences in her back, and would not even expect complete relief of that pain. God, however, operates above the level of the natural, i.e., supernaturally. He can definitely heal the elderly woman of the disabling disease she is suffering from, be it age-related or otherwise, thereby causing her to stand and walk upright again. Have you ever asked yourself why God should answer your prayers, and whether your life would turn out any differently as a result? Why must Jesus calm the storm in your life? Will you then make critical changes in your life? Why should God relieve your hardship? Furthermore, if both you and your older brother experienced the same hardships and only one opportunity for relief was available, how would you motivate for your struggle to be relieved, instead of your brother's hardship? The manner in which certain people contemplate the difficulty that has befallen them is unfortunate. An important question therefore needs to be asked: if you could choose your own struggle or sickness, what would you rather have wanted? Are you knowledgeable enough to know that, for you, an amputated hand would have been better than a paralyzed hand. The passengers of a ship do not question the captain about the direction in which he is steering the ship. It is because he knows the why, the what, the when, the how, the where, and the who of sailing a ship. Why does mortal man then constantly question God about his leading, whereas, unlike the captain, God even knows and declares the end from the beginning? Isaiah 46 verse 10. No man can truly say that he has the foreknowledge of God. 1 Peter 1 verse 2. If you were the omniscient, all-knowing God with foreknowledge of the future, would you have answered all your prayers in the manner you initially desired? Would you have caused yourself to win the national lottery if you knew the winning numbers beforehand? Would you have caused yourself to obtain 100% on all your tests, if you knew the answers before the time? Did you ever consider the fact that in life, a person may know a lot, but not enough? The hidden things indeed belong to God. Do you think you are smart or clever enough to figure out what God needs to do with you, through you, for you, and to you, in order to carry out His plan for your life? God is interested in you, but not in your clever thoughts. Your selfish ideas are foolish before God. In retrospect, would you have granted all your desires for yourself and your loved ones, knowing the negative consequences that would flow from them later on? Would you have bought yourself a sports car knowing the injuries you would sustain in an accident it caused 6 months later?